Right, we're back, and it's been a half an hour for me since I did this. Because when I stopped, the phone went off, and it was my aunt, and she needed something, so I just went to deal with that. Yeah, there seems to be issues with the increased jump height here. Like, I'm not getting the jumps I need to get because I'm jumping right over the top of them. Like for mantling, especially in there, when trying to come out of there. Now I need to get by this guy. Right. Ignore the elevator behind you opening. Seville, I'm going to stop that boy. Right, we're out. Woo!
We're close to the action here in New Atlantis. Prime position to report on the big stories that affect the United Colonies. Can I help you?
I think I have a news story you'll be very interested in.
Well, I'll be the judge of that. What's this so-called story about?
I think Infinity Ltd's growing body count due to unauthorized human trials says it all.
Corporate greed claims victims once more. And you have evidence to support this claim.
Yes, of course, I wouldn't expect SSNN to believe a perfect stranger.
Perfect stranger or not, we won't air anything without some sort of hard evidence. I don't suppose you want to tell me how you got this evidence.
I can't reveal my sources. I'm sure as a reporter you can understand that.
Of course. I just hope your source is as reliable as you think they are. Is there at least a name I can cite as my source?
Just a concerned citizen.
Why am I not surprised? As long as the evidence is adequate and verifiable, I expect it'll be aired within the hour, if not sooner. Now, if you'll excuse me, I obviously have some work to do.
Wondering what that smell is?
Right, now this next bit is where you get to decide the future of Refuge and... Why am I going this way? Because the map marker isn't it right? What was that one then? Oh! Clover's diary's up for grabs now.
How's everything with you?
Executives. Right, so we get you choose the future Ryujin now. Oops. That's next to go down there.
I've yet to hear anything of note on SSNN. Let's hear your report.
Not a single hitch. David Barron should be running the story any minute.
Good. David won't be able to resist a story like this. He'll do some preliminary confirmations, which will be enough to get the broadcast out to the public. And how did the NeuroAmp perform?
It is extremely useful.
I thought it would be. So now it's just a waiting game for SSNN to break the news. Once the story airs, we have another board meeting scheduled to decide how to handle Infinity. Go ahead, Maeve.
The SSNN broadcast has started. Shall I patch it through?
Yes, thank you.
Infinity Ltd. and Lucas Drexler are currently under investigation for a number of violations, including murder for hire, unauthorized human trials, and corporate theft. Authorities representing the UC and the Freestar Collective have been dispatched to a consolidated mining station and the clinic. Both locations are believed to hold numerous victims. Drexler's motivation appears to be an attempt to launch a new product based off stolen information from a competitor. The details on the project itself and the competitor have yet to be confirmed. This has been David Barron for SSNN.
Perfect. This exposure puts Infinity right where we want them. The meeting will begin momentarily, but I want you to discuss the options we have with the other members. Infinity's net worth is about to hit rock bottom. So this gives us the opportunity to win a little more public faith.
Ryujin buys Infinity and no one loses their job.
Quite right. The truth is, we'll be making evaluations. We'll shed any employees who don't make the cut, slowly but surely. By incorporating Infinity, we eliminate a competitor, get their best employees and contracts, and all while boosting our public perception.
A corporation like Ryujin can shape any employee into a valuable one.
That's certainly our hope. Any employee with a sense of drive is sure to show themselves. Which is why I'd like you to talk to the board to convince them this is the right move. There are several who might disagree, and you have the perfect tool to help sway them.
Don't worry, they'll be on your side. I know I can convince them of the benefits.
I know you can as well. So now you're fully aware of my expectations. You'll find most of the board members in their offices preparing. Vina is also here, waiting for the meeting to start. We'll need at least 50% of the vote to go our way. In the event of a tie, I will make the final decision. I trust you'll get it done.
Keep out of my way, and I'll keep out of yours.
Did Masako send you to try and convince me to acquire Infinity Ltd? I think we both know that's not going to work.
If you acquire Infinity Ltd, you'd save jobs. It's a good public perception.
Our public perception is good enough. If you ask me, reaching out to save Infinity just makes us look weak. The internal neuroamp gives us the power to crush our competitors, not take them under our wing. This is exactly why Masako's time as CEO is finished.
Oh, Masako's a better CEO than you'll ever be, to be honest with you.
I'll overlook your poorly educated statement. For now. Throwing your competitor a lifeline when they're about to crash and burn hardly seems wise.
Why are you so against acquiring Infinity Ltd?
The corporate world will hear SSNN's story and believe Ryujin exposed Infinity because they stole from us. It sends a strong message. But acquiring Infinity could be interpreted as a safety net. Infinity tried to screw us over, yet they still survived. We need to be sending a much stronger message. If you mess with Ryujin, we'll shut you down. Period.
Listen to reason, Lara. You know acquiring Infinity's the right choice.
Well, it does make Ryujin look good. And we do gain a wider customer base, which means higher profits. You're oddly right about this one, Op. I guess you are worth keeping around. As long as everyone has Ryujin's best interests in mind, this should make for an interesting meeting.
Speaking of, I plan on bringing the internal neuroamp up as an issue in the meeting.
An issue? That would be a foolish move. Dalton and Alexis are the only two against it. You'd never get the rest to shut it down.
The neuroamp's dangerous. The tech only spells trouble for your Origin's future.
Dangerous indeed. For all I know, you're using it right now. The irony. Perhaps I didn't see it earlier, but you're right. The moment a competitor reverse engineers Vena's work, it'll be chaos. The last thing I want is to have my brain scrambled because some engineer didn't do their due diligence. Now, if you'll excuse me, I still have a lot of preparations to make.
Yeah, we are shutting down the neuroamp. I'm going to be the only person in existence with it. I am really a psychotic fucking maniac sometimes. Hey, Vina.
Hey there. And how's my favorite patient doing? Not seeing any temporal memory flashes or losing time, I hope.
Are those actual side effects?
What? No, of course not. They're purely theoretical.
Nah, I'm used to waking up in strange places.
Reminds me of my undergrad days. I mean, I assume you're joking, right? I'll have to get that documented and we'll definitely want to run a few tests if not. So, tell me what you think of the neuroamp.
Well, I think the tech's dangerous. No one should have this.
I hope you're not actually suggesting that the technology I spent years working on and perfecting never sees the light of day. This is groundbreaking work. My life's work.
You're a scientist. Hear me out. Just look at it from every angle.
Fine, fine. Make your case.
I know you covered all your bases in research. You know the data against it is there.
Oh, there is adequate data to back what you're saying. More than adequate. Well, this conversation's made me feel like a proper monster. But you're right. In a perfect world, tech like this is used for good. But this world is far from perfect.
You're not a monster. You just got lost in excitement discovering something new.
It is. It really is. For years, my only focus has been, is this possible? And then, how do I make it work? I never stopped to consider if it was right, or what it would mean. I guess it'll be up to a vote either way. It's not on the meeting agenda, so I assume you'll bring it up yourself? We just have to hope the others will see reason. So the next question is, what will the fate of Infinity Ltd be?
There's bound to be something new or inspiring in the research.
That's what I'm hoping for. They may be the underdog, but that doesn't mean they don't have a brilliant mind or two. Well, this has certainly been the most interesting conversation of my day. All we can do now is look forward to the meeting, right? See you in there.
She's all against acquiring, I think it is. I think she's against acquiring Infinity Ltd.
So much work to do. Well, if it isn't my favorite operative, something I can help you with?
Masako would really appreciate it if you could back her and acquire Infinity Ltd.
Not much to discuss there. I believe I've made my case quite clear to Masako on why I am against it.
Legal issues aside, the pros of acquiring Infinity Ltd far outweigh the cons.
All right, I could use the entertainment. Tell me why Infinity is a good asset.
The business benefits far outweigh any legal issues, and credits are king.
When it comes to profit, I suppose all my arguments do fall short. Huh. Well, what do you know? I think you just convinced me. Talent like yours belongs in the courtroom.
If you want a real legal nightmare, I'd say the internal new ramp fits the bill.
Don't even get me started. First off, if I find out you used that device on me, I will tie you up in court on whatever charges I can conjure for the rest of your life. Second, that tech is one major human rights violation that no legal team wants to fight. I'll do whatever I can to make sure it's either severely delayed or collects dust in storage.
Yes, I agree.
Well, I'm both glad and surprised to hear the one person who has one say that. Masako is lucky to have you at her disposal, you know? You may be the greatest asset, aside from the internal neuroamp, that Ryujin has. This exchange has been surprisingly insightful, but now I really do need to get back to my notes.
Hey, Dalton.
This meeting should prove to be very interesting.
I think he's actually agreeing with me in both
I
issues.
assume Masako briefed you on her preferred outcome.
Yeah. I was told to use internal new ramp to make sure the board votes to acquire Infinity Ltd.
That blasted tech. If it were up to me, I'd have shut down Project Dominion a long time ago. I knew it was a grave security risk, and look what happened.
Yep, I agree with you. We saw firsthand how dangerous that tech is. It should never go to market.
You read my mind. Let's just hope Masako and the others see it that way. Plus, if we vote to acquire Infinity Ltd, we're about to add a significant workload onto my team. The last thing I want to deal with are any more incidents this new neuroamp might cause.
The acquisition's worth the risk. I know your team can handle it.
I imagine we're looking at months of work. Infinity Ltd is obviously not known for their security. I only hope that Masako and the others will be patient with the process. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some preparations to make. We'll be announcing Ularu's termination of employment at this meeting, so I need to have security ready to escort her off the premises.
Yeah, I do not like the neuro ramp. I like having it, just don't like anybody else having it.
Is Masako checking up on me to make sure I'm on her side?
Pretty much. That depends what side you're on, to be honest with you.
Well, you can let Masako know to rest easy. It just so happens that her agenda lines up with mine. We just need to grab Infinity LTD while it's got the public's full attention. I'm all about free PR, especially when it's painting us in a good light.
Yeah, come to the rescue of those innocent workers will really look good for us.
I'm sure I can squeeze enough goodwill out of this to last us at least a year.
I'm actually to discuss more than just Infinity LTD.
Well, you have my attention.
The internal new ramp, the research should be banned.
The possible backlash on tech like this is not lost on me. However, the internal neuroamp will define the next era of tech, with Ryujin at the forefront. It's not an opportunity you just walk away from.
You'll never be able to fight off the amount of moral backlash.
You're right. The moment you violate your customers' trust, there's a good chance they'll never come back. Even worse, you push them into the hands of your competitors. Well, it seems your talents really do stretch beyond just being an operative. Good talk. Maybe I'll even consult you on future endeavors.
I'm not against using the neuroamp to stop the neuroamp. I know the irony. I find it funny. I really do find it hilarious that there's an irony here. Of me using it.
You operatives really will wear anything. Just the person I wanted to see. I want to get all the details locked down for this meeting, and I believe you to be one of the best sources available.
I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Good. I prefer first-hand feedback when available. You've had the chance to encounter members of Infinity LTD throughout your assignments here. Do you think they're worth redemption? And why?
Of course, if we can save jobs of thousands of people, then we should do it.
Saving the jobs of thousands is altruistic, which is not a luxury corporations have. It's a financial burden. It would be a huge undertaking on my part.
We're getting better employees in Infinity's cheaper salary numbers.
This is true. Infinity never had the financial resources to match our salary offers. Getting what few capable employees they have at half the salary we typically pay here could have major payoffs in the long run. Next question. What is your opinion on how Masako handled the mole situation?
I think it was well handled. It proves how capable Masako is at handling any situation.
And why do you feel it was well handled? Please note I'm not disagreeing. I just want to know the why behind your statement.
Masako remained cool and stuck to a plan. Prematurely releasing this information would only cause a panic.
I agree. Should Masako had informed us too early, we may have all turned on each other. I appreciate the insight. I suppose I should ask if there's anything I can do for you, considering how helpful you've been.
Yeah, she was trying to convince him to put Masako out. Yeah, the internal neuroamp, technically that's dangerous and should be banned.
It's only dangerous to those who can't afford one. Hence the added motivation that will bolster sales.
And when rivals discover how to override it, we'll have pure chaos on our hands.
I think we all know how averse I am to chaos. Finances are my forte, so you make a good point. Our competition has yet to truly master neuroamps, but the possibility is there. It's a risk I am unwilling to take. At this time. This has been rather enlightening for me. I appreciate the time.
She's going to be pissed as fuck that I stopped her neural ramp.
All right, everyone. As you all know, we've successfully exposed Infinity Ltd's botched human trials and murder for hire through SSNN. The public is demanding their leadership, namely Lucas Drexler, face trial, and he's probably writing his resignation as we speak. Ryujin will be launching a statement, but I believe now is the perfect time to acquire Infinity Ltd.
Misako hasn't steered you wrong yet. I trust her judgment.
Believe it or not, I agree. The acquisition has risks, and it's going to create a lot of work for all of us. But the overall payoff will be worth it.
That and Infinity Ltd's current situation makes them more affordable than ever.
Arguments? None? Excellent. Moving on, then.
I think what we're all overlooking is what led us to this situation to begin with. Yes, our security was compromised. But considering Dalton was hired by Masako, the issue obviously starts at the top. In fact, I propose that Masako be removed from CEO altogether.
Ularu, this isn't a line you want to cross.
And considering you're the mole, if anyone's going to be removed from power, it's going to be you.
Hold up. Are you saying you lied to us?
Dalton, the last meeting we had, you distinctly said Imogene was the mole, and she'd been dealt with.
Imogene was innocent. She played a vital role in helping us expose Ularu.
Do you even have any proof to back up this outrageous claim?
Of course we do. The malicious code you hid on this slate to upload incriminating evidence against Masako onto Lucas Drexler's computer.
To put it bluntly,
Oops,
This
shit.
isn't right. I should at least have the opportunity to resign.
And allow you to still be marketable to a competitor? I don't think so. This may be news to me, and I will be reviewing the evidence closely. But this isn't something you just get to walk away from.
Enjoy your unemployment.
Security, escort Miss Chen to her office and see that she stays put.
You'll regret this. All of you.
I believe the only regret would be trusting you to begin with.
All right, back to business. All in favor of acquiring Infinity Ltd?
Aye.
Good. Alexis, start drawing up the necessary documentation. Anyone have anything else they'd like to bring up?
Yeah, the internal new amp's too dangerous to market.
The internal neuroamp is a key component of Ryujin Industries' success for the next 10 years, if not more. Why would we shelve it after we've finally perfected it?
The moment the public learns about it, no one will trust anyone anymore, especially Ryujin.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but he's right. Regardless of the pros, the cons are too morally and ethically irresponsible to move forward with.
The moment the public gets wind of the true capabilities of this tech, we're gonna suffer severe backlash.
Very well. All in favor of shelving Project Dominion?
Aye.
Vina, Prep Project Dominion for storage. Any other matters to bring forth? None? This concludes our order of business for today.
She's going to be pissed.
If only there were more hours in the day.
Alright, bye-bye. I'm sure she's going to be
You're
pissed.
looking interesting today.
Shelving the internal neuroamp. Not the outcome I anticipated.
Well, maybe now you see why the internal neuramp is dangerous.
A fine point, but it still proves its usefulness. The truth remains, Lucas Drexler learned a hard lesson, and we exposed a traitor among us. You've proven yourself to be quite the asset here at Ryujin.
I was only doing my job.
Of course. But these particular assignments required a certain secrecy that most do not. I truly appreciate the work you put into exposing Ularu. No operative has ever had to investigate our own to the extent that you did. I can imagine it may have been a lot of pressure, considering you were fairly new at the time.
No pressure at all. These are the type of jobs I live for.
I hope that enthusiasm sticks with you for the foreseeable future. Imogene's instincts were right about you. Now, as promised, I have your bonus. I hope you'll find it appropriate for all you've done. And I'm promoting you to senior operative. You've more than earned it.
Thank you.
It's well deserved. As for the details, I think someone back on the operations floor would prefer to explain those to you.
Oh, she wasn't actually mad that I stopped the project. That's a nice surprising outcome, to be honest with you. Yeah, Imogen's back on the operations floor now.
Make it quick. I have a deadline.
You've certainly shaken things up around here. I still can't believe Ularu tried to frame me. An obvious misjudgment on my part. But now that's all in the past. It's time to get back to your typical day-to-day.
Oh, it's good to see you back.
And I'd say it's good to be back if I hadn't returned to a mountain of paperwork. Now, since you are new, you've been dealing with people, but most of our assignments are generated on the mission board. The board holds any available assignments that our techs have pieced together, and I've approved. Questions?
I don't get to talk to you anymore?
No, but try to see that as an improvement, since I certainly do. The mission board is more efficient for both of us.
And that makes your job a lot easier.
I wish. Assignment approval isn't exactly riveting work. With your promotion, you've earned yourself an office, so whenever you're ready, you can find your own personal mission board inside. And the best perk of them all, you're free to make your own hours. Oh, and congratulations, of course.
Can I access this mission board outside of Ryujin?
No, only within the tower. The security risk would be far too much to allow access to that data in a public space.
Well, thank you, Imogen. See you around.
You certainly will. Go check out the board, and if you have any questions, I suppose I can start up an open door policy. Just for you.
What have they given me here? Ooh, what's this? Stinted mag, rapid. And this is a tombstone. I've got to try this. And it's 11 mil. I personally modified what? Particle pistol. Yes. Love this. Right, Hatchery Tower, Xenofresh Fisheries. Core Kinetics. And Laredo Firearms.
You're interrupting me. Is this time accounted for?
I want to know why you're highlighted. What do you mean accounted for?
We're on a strict schedule. I just want to make sure this impromptu meeting is properly tracked.
That's not.
Then I will remind you that the schedule exists for a reason, and we seem to be ignoring it. If time is money, then suffice to say Ms. Serrano would not be pleased with such a frivolous expenditure.
It's just a hallway conversation. We don't need to document everything.
You may have a point. And since you clearly have bandwidth to spare, maybe you can help me clean up a, minor indiscretion.
Yeah, I might be able to help with this minor indiscretion.
Good. Let me give you some background. Recently, I've been assisting the impoverished in both Ebbside and the Underbelly. I pay for the occasional meal, clinic visit, or comfort. But I may have lost a slate in the process. I need you to locate and retrieve it for me.
I'll find it.
Then we have an agreement. Good. Go to the Underbelly and talk to the panhandler, Huang. Discarded items are her specialty, so she may have come across the slate herself. If you can manage to find it, bring it back to me, and I will pay you for the time. Goodbye.
Right, that's fine. So that's us done with Ryujin. We should keep the internal new ramp because it's already been fitted on us. Yeah, we still have the 90% chance to manipulate someone. So we still have the internal new ramp, even though we lobbied to have it stopped. We're now the only person in existence with one. Right, so we have all these quests to do, blah 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 blah. But let's end the episode just now, and next week we'll get on with things, and then hopefully I'll be able to get some stuff done during the week, like this isolation. I should be able to get that done without an issue. Negotiation, there's not much I can do because you have to just find them in conversation, and we're running out of quests if I get them in. Deception, convince 5 ships to surrender. I can do that because I no longer have any of the companions on my ship, hopefully. I'll just double check that. Right, Adoran, it doesn't matter if he's on the ship. Andromeda, doesn't think it matters if she's on the ship. Betty Hauser doesn't give a fuck. Eric von Price might. Omari shouldn't give a fuck, he's just a hired hand. Sam's off the ship. Yeah, so our ship is full. And I don't think Vasco gives a fuck what you do either. So, yay. The hull is needing repaired a bit. Okay. Anyway, so I'll see you all again next time. Bye-bye.